Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and well, I'm back for another video. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, not a month, since I uploaded video, and even that video was like a short video. So much has happened since, I guess, the last official video posted. We are in the Seattle area now, so we are right outside of Seattle in Bellevue. It's nice out here. It's different. It's different in the same. It's different than Colorado for sure. A lot more greenery. Trees are really big, and you don't see that in Colorado unless you're in the mountains. But being here is kind of reminds me of being back in Minnesota, where it's like the lush green trees, green grass. Except it is not nearly as cold, and it doesn't rain as well. It hasn't rained as much as I would have thought. As people, everyone, when you hear Seattle or Washington, you think rain, constant snow, means constant gray. But it's like right now, it's blue skies. I was taking the Beagle for a little walk, and I found this little scooter on the sidewalk. So I rented it real quick and just went up and down the block, just having some fun, getting out. But yeah, it's really nice so far here. So one quick story to kind of catch you guys up. When we were leaving, we were going to drive both our cars from Colorado here to Washington. And it was going to be a 2.5 day trip because we have the dogs and they're older, so you got to stop and, to give them breaks. But they had like the full back of my wife's SUV, and I was driving my Ford Focus. We get up that morning. We are, make sure everything's done in the house. We sold the house. Packed up, we took some pictures in front of the house. My wife gets in her car, I get in my car, she starts to back out. I go to turn my car on, doesn't start. I'm like, what in the world? Seriously? Nothing. So we jump my car, it starts to run, but then it's making like a weird noise. And I'm like, this doesn't look right. Put the car in reverse, it doesn't reverse, like it won't accelerate. So I have to kind of like, I pulled all the way up as far as I could in the driveway, and then just let it roll down so I could get out of the driveway and backed it up so I could face the right direction so I could leave. So I drove the car over to our dealership where we get all our work done. And the guy's like, well, let's test your battery. Probably just the battery. Great. Do that, test the battery. Battery test fine. Okay, not the battery. You're like, well, it could be this part, some modular some part, I don't know the exact name of it. It's a part that goes on to the engine. That's part of the engine. But let's get you into the service side to see, what it is. So we find the guy. I tell him what's going on. He's like, yeah, it's probably that part that he was talking about. But unfortunately, that part is a recall part, and there's a shortage right now. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, there's a shortage. He goes, we have 2 cars right now on our lot that's been here at that time for 2.5 months. And we're just waiting for this part. There's no timetable when we're going to get this part, obviously. So, needless to say, my car is still in Denver, waiting for this random part to be shipped out to them from Ford so that they can fix our cars. But yeah, it's been sitting there for the last month and a half. We're probably not going to get it back for another 2-3 months at best. So not only are they short on the part, it's a recall part, but they're also short-handed, and so they only have one transmission tech. So he's already booked a month behind. So like you already have like the 3 cars, Ford Focuses, the 3 Ford Focuses that need this part. But even if he could get to, like, even if they got the parts today, he would still be a month behind on his work because there's only one of him. So it's so yeah, that's why I said we probably won't see this car for a while. So that's been really interesting. That's the other change. I don't have a space in the apartment to like kind of have like my own separate space like I did at the house. So I literally pack up a bag each night and like put everything back in the bag so it's not messy and everywhere. I do have like a laptop and the iPad sitting out, but yeah, I try to keep everything packed up in a bag. I got a new bag, which I will go over a review of that later. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So not only am I here to talk about what I've been up to now that I'm back on YouTube, but I also want to talk about the new iPad mini. As if you have been paying attention or not paying attention, Apple had an event last week and they came out with new iPhones and the iPad mini. The iPhones are essentially the same. They're better cameras for sure, especially in the Pro. You can get a macro photography. You can do macro photography with the wide angle camera now, but it's not a true like one-to-one macro. There's a great video by Marcus Brownlee. He kind of shows how that works. It just crops in on the wide angle camera, and you don't have any control over it right now. So I was really excited about it, but then I got kind of bummed out about it after seeing that video. But I was really excited about the iPad mini. Now, if you guys know, I've talked about this before. There's a rumor, I think the last iPad event, the iPad mini was supposed to come out, was going to have a bigger screen, but same like chassis. So same chassis size, but bigger screen. Get rid of the home button, USB Type-C. And they were supposed to have like the pins, the dock, the connector pins in the back. So you get, the rumor was they're going to make like a little keyboard. That didn't happen. But it has, it looks like the iPad Air. Like that, so the iPad Pro, iPad Air look. USB-C connector, which is really great. Uses the Apple Pencil 2, again, really great. And this is the first time I actually pre-ordered something. Like I pre-ordered that iPad mini. I was really excited about it, but then I started thinking, and I looked at like my current iPad, which is a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and on that iPad I have a half a terabyte, so 512 gigabytes worth of storage. On the iPad mini, it only goes to 256. That was always like my big hiccup. I was like, why can't you just give me more storage? Even on the iPhones, you can now get on the Pro iPhones, you can get up to a terabyte of storage, which is insane. So I would have hoped they would have at least gone up to 512 for the iPad mini. They didn't. So after a couple hours thinking about it, I actually canceled my order. Because I really, like, as much as I think I could use 256, and it probably would be fine, to be honest, for me, when I think of an iPad or any kind of device now, especially that I don't have like a storage area or an office area, it really has to replace something or do something that another device isn't doing, right? And right now, even though the iPad Pro that I have is large and cumbersome, I'm not going anywhere. And it works fine. Like, maybe the iPad mini would be better for reading. But if you're just starting out and you're just looking at getting an iPad, I really would look at the iPad mini. I really, really, really like that design. I think USB-C is it's actually Thunderbolt. So having a Thunderbolt connection on there is amazing because now you can hook up your SD cards and pull things over even faster. You can, if you're using LumaFusion, you can edit off of a SSD hard drive. So you could plug in a SSD hard drive, edit your videos right off of there. You could even keep your videos on there so you don't have to plug up your iPad's storage. The one thing I wish you could do was use Lightroom and have like an external hard drive and read your catalog off an external hard drive. Then maybe I would be tempted to do that. However, for me personally, the MacBook Air has kind of changed the way that I use my iPad now, right? The screen size is just as big as the iPad 12.9-inch, which is funny. And so I use that iPad as a second display a lot, and it's kind of expensive for a second display, but it's nice to have like that size screen for the second display. But I do pretty much everything on the MacBook Air now. I'm looking over this direction because it's right there. But I do everything pretty much on that MacBook Air. I really, really like it. It's super light. The battery life is amazing. It lasts all day. It's incredible how long it lasts. It lasts multiple days, actually. You can get some iPad apps on there if you really want to. I do have LumaFusion on there. I've used it a handful of times. It works perfectly fine, but I do use, if I am going to edit a video on LumaFusion, I like doing it on the iPad just because the Apple Pencil is so much faster to edit with than to try to use a mouse and keyboard. Even though, for whatever reason, if I do have my iPad in like the dock mode where I have my keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard attached to it and using the Magic Trackpad, I can edit pretty fast on there too. It's funny, I can edit much faster on the iPad using a keyboard and mouse than I can on the MacBook Air using LumaFusion using keyboard and mouse. I don't know, maybe it's just muscle memory or something, but for whatever reason, if I am editing video on in LumaFusion, I like to do it on the iPad. But even saying that, I use Final Cut Pro 95% of the time now. Every now and again, I will use LumaFusion, really just to make sure I know how to use it still. But I use Final Cut Pro for a lot of stuff. What's really nice about LumaFusion is, though, you can start on LumaFusion and then export it out. You do have to pay like $20 extra to do that, but you can export it out as a Final Cut Pro package and then open it up in Final Cut Pro and finish your edit there if you really need to. But I haven't had to do that. So overall, I'm really excited about the iPad mini. I really wish I could get it in a higher storage just for peace of mind. Could I use 256? 100%, I think, especially with the support for external hard drives. You know, I could easily just back up pictures while we're like traveling or something onto that external hard drive, and when I get back home, hook it up and import pictures and video that way. However, because the MacBook Air is so light, I could take this with me anywhere I go, and it's not going to take up much space. Having said all that, I do plan on getting the iPad mini at some point, probably next year, when, you know, once we kind of see, you know, where we're living, if we're traveling, that kind of stuff. Because right now, staying in the house, the iPad Pro is fine. And even if I go where we're staying right now, in the apartment we're staying at, they have like a little work area, and it's really cold in there. It's like, so here in Washington, a lot of homes don't have AC. Like even in this apartment, they don't have AC. But for whatever reason, this work area is in the same building as the main office and the gym. They have AC in there, and they pump the AC all the time, so it's freezing in there. So I don't work in there too often. So that's my take on the iPad mini. If you are looking for one, I highly suggest getting it. It does start at 64 gigabytes, which is really stupid because they upped the iPhones to 128, and yet they start the iPads at 64 gigabytes, which is like unusable. So definitely get the 256 version. I will have links down below. Amazon links, as of this recording now, is still on pre-order, but it should be coming out Friday the 24th, so in a few days here. But yeah, it feels good to be back. I have so many videos. I've been writing down all the videos I want to talk about, including a video that will be coming up right after this one, like in the next couple of days, about my new favorite photo sharing app. If you want to see that video and more videos from me, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help me out. I am back. Also, I updated my website. It's a new look, and I'm working on some new parts of the website, but right now, new look and feel. I actually have a gear section that lists all my photography gear that I use. I'm going to also have a section for the computer gear I use and the software that I use, but right now it has all the photography gear, almost all of it. I still need to update like the backpacks and things like that, but the cameras I use, the lenses I use, these camera straps, memory cards, anything you want to know about the gear that I use is down there. Whew. It feels good to be back. It feels weird to be doing this again. I haven't done this in a while, so I got to get used to it. But it's good to see you. Thank you for everyone who subscribed to the channel when I was not making videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all for your patience for this transition. It's funny because I thought, oh, it wouldn't be that hard. Like, we'll get to Washington, I'll just start creating videos again. And yeah, that didn't work like that. All right, I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.